Hi, and welcome to another episode of Kuntarkis. My name is Michael Yon, and this is Knowing Fluoride. Firstly, just want to say a bit of a disclaimer: we're not responsible for you doing too much with any of the things that Kuntarkis suggests here. Please take it wisely. Take the information here wisely so you don't overdo it. I think that's the easiest disclaimer I can make. Okay, here we go. Here's Knowing Fluoride.
Hello, Mr. Michael Yon.
Hello, Kuntarkis. How are you?
I am very good, and yourself?
Yeah, I'm doing all right. I am. Actually, I have something I wondered if we might talk about to some degree. I know it's a topic that you know very, very well. It's oral hygiene.
I know nothing about it, mate.
Oh, I know. Because
Yeah, go on.
I was at the dentist yesterday. I had my very final molar was fixed like a filling, and I
Yes.
was given this very high intense ultra floor or whatever it was called toothpaste to go home with. Oh, very fluoride. Oh, it's going to be very good for you because the fluoride is going to patch up that spot there. And I have done my research, and I do understand that they believe for good reason that it's going to help my tooth. But there's so much more to talk about, isn't there?
Yes, there is, mate.
Wow.
Yeah. Look. I can only give you what I know, what I've learned to understand, what I've researched on, and found the absolute negatives against fluoride. The fluoride they use, like in water, is basically second or third grade, which is worse for the human body. It creates at least 70 different forms of ailments, really bad, and it actually eats away at your nervous system, which is your neurons and all that type of stuff. So it's not actually a good thing from that perspective. When it comes to your teeth, fluoride does not, 100% does not repair holes or teeth or anything like that. That is a fantasy. That is a fallacy. Why they would tell you that, I think, is simply to sell fluoride. Fluoride was created and the research was low. They use fluoride because they believe it, but not so much believe it, but to make money from it. And Colgate is the leading brand for fluoride toothpaste, and they make billions every year from selling it. So you could understand why they don't want to research it. They don't want to do anything to it because it sells.
Wow. And so I've done a bit of research, and when it comes to say helping out your teeth, one of the healthier ones that people talk about is it has let me say this right, hydroxyapatite, which is a type of toothpaste that helps in some ways. They say. I wonder what do you know about looking after your good good
Okay.
oral hygiene?
Yeah, it can help, but
Yeah.
there's a flaw. It's the fluoride, mate. Anything that has fluoride within it is not healthy for your human body. My sister, my human sister, was a typical example. When she was in I think her 20s, they brought out a product called fluoride tablets, and they were selling them by the millions worldwide, or by the billions, I'm not sure. And everybody was encouraged to feed children fluoride tablets. The woman that I was going with in Adelaide also was given all that. And she ate thousands, she reckons, of fluoride tablets to actually help with her teeth because her family had poor teeth. It never, ever did anything except cause more decay and cause different forms of ailments throughout the body. It really did. That's why she suffers today. That's why her nervous system is suffering. She doesn't have the buoyancy like she never really did. It affected her in many ways, you're right.
Yeah.
Now, my sister, it ate away her entire nervous system, which put her into being a paraplegic. All she could do was move her head. That was it. She
It's the
couldn't
worst.
move her.
Oh, I'm
Yeah.
sorry. I'm so sorry about that.
No, no,
Some
no,
people
no.
literally like they would think, oh, now that I've cleaned my teeth, I better swallow it because that'll be good for my insides too.
Oh, God.
My parents
You might as well just,
regretted me doing
you
that as a
might,
kid. Oh.
yeah, you might as well just bloody drink a bottle of bloody arsenic.
Yeah.
You know? Jesus.
Well,
Isn't it funny? No, sorry, mate.
yeah.
Isn't it funny? You take a product like Fluoride. 35 years ago or 40 years ago, the government of Australia put in fluoride into the water, right? And it's been in ever since. And there were a couple of states that never had it, and Queensland probably about 25 years ago, something like that. It doesn't do anything, absolutely nothing when it comes to your health or your teeth. What it does do is cause you ailments. So you end up on drugs, medication, and the pharmaceutical companies makes money both ways. That's the end result. That's the sad part.
It's like the many other things. Like what are they? I even forgot what they call it today. I keep calling it crop dusting. What's it called when they go through the air with the plane and stuff comes out the back
Oh,
that's white?
chemtrails.
Chemtrails. Oh yeah.
Yes, mate.
Yeah, that's just
Yeah,
everywhere
they're
in
doing it.
Adelaide. Oh yeah.
Yeah, and why aren't people, like, oh my God, they don't
They
realise.
don't question like why would that? Yeah.
No. When you have money, you can do anything. You know that? Especially if you're massive families like, the Rothschilds, the Rockefellers, the Morgans, the BlackRocks, the Vanguards, the Bill Gates, the George Soros and his pedophile son. What's his name? Klaus Schwab. The 9 families in Italy who literally run the mafia worldwide.
Or the
Always have.
the Black Pope. You heard about the Black Pope?
The Black Pope.
Yeah, apparently there's a Black Pope that rules over everything.
That's right. That's exactly right. And people won't accept that. I was told by this lady, she said to me, well, I'm very religious. I don't mean to brag about it, but I'm a Christian. Newborn Christian. I said, well, that's nice for you. She said, why would you say that? She said, you sound like you're being sarcastic. I said, no, you're looking for a fight. I said, I wasn't being. I was just saying that's nice for you. Okay?
Yeah.
That's what you believe in. That's fine. But don't push what you don't understand onto others. You got to research before you join something.
Wow.
It's like anything. It's like Satanism. How many actors and how many people in the entertainment industry has been sucked into that form of understanding of some form of religion that literally worships the most blackest of everything. And that's what you have to be, black. They'll make you fame, maybe, but what you sacrifice basically is your soul.
The spirit's
I'm
growth.
not joking.
The soul really.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yep.
yeah.
You literally sacrifice everything. And it's become so black, Michael, around the world, honestly. And I'm not trying to sound negative. I'm being so damn truthful to try and get people to wake up. But coming back to fluoride, I've got some information. And if I come across it, because I'm having a big clean out over Christmas in my office. I've never had the clean out. So I'm going to go through everything and get rid of what I don't need. But I've got about 4 sheets that I originally got many, many years ago on the original testing of the dangers of fluoride in toothpaste, in water, everything. I've also got a book called Water, and it explains. If you ever come across a book called Water, it might be worth buying. And if I find the book, I know it's there somewhere. If I find the book, I'll give you the name so you can check it out. And it talks about fluoride.
Well, Kuntarkis, while we're back to that subject, I know you value your health a lot, and you're very, very healthy for your age of, what was it, 73 now physiologically?
Yes, mate.
Yes, sorry to say that because I know that's not exactly the Kuntarkis, but yeah, you're like I now know. I looked at my head and my beard. You've got I've got way more grey hairs than you now. It's embarrassing at 42 at the moment. Anyway, I said to my mum yesterday, I said, I think I'm the oldest I've ever been today. I want to ask you, because you value health, and obviously you must value your teeth and the teeth of your son and your partner, what do you do, apart from a good diet, which is very, very important as well, what do you do when it comes to looking after your teeth?
Okay. I always used cord, to get between my teeth.
Oh, yeah,
That's
the
really,
flossing.
yeah, flossing. There's a particular one. Don't get the really thin one. The one that I get just that little bit thicker. I can also tell you the name. I think it's a Colgate. Actually, it's a really good one.
And you snap it
clean,
off like a normal cord?
Yeah, it just cuts off like a cord.
Yeah.
And, you get in between your teeth. Now, when you use the first one, you don't have to throw it away, mate. You just can wash it and hang it up and leave it for tomorrow and the next day and the next day until it breaks or it's no longer useful. Because, it ends up costing you a lot of money. The other thing is, I use a toothpaste, and my wife does now, and so does JC, and we get it from Woolworths. And theirs is $2.30, I think. I think it's gone up a little bit. And it has all the good stuff that I believe is reasonably good compared to everything else on the market.
Really?
There is another way of actually cleaning your teeth, but I don't want to say it unless I say the wrong one. There's a white powder that's natural.
You mean bicarb soda?
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, bicarb soda.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah. Well, you put a little bit on a wet toothbrush, just like, you can put a little bit of that powder into, say, a bowl, small little bowl, and get your toothbrush and just put a bit of water on your toothbrush, pick it up, and you can clean with that. Try to avoid rubbing your gums too much, because it does inflame the gums a little bit if you use it too much. But what it does do, it cleans your teeth in the most natural way. The other thing is charcoal powder, the activated charcoal. You have a separate toothbrush, and what you do there is you put a bit of powder, like say a teaspoon or 2 teaspoons, into a little jar, put a little bit of water until it's really thick and creamy. It'll last you, no worries, probably for 2 weeks. And if it goes a bit dry, just put a few drops of water in it and stir it around again, right? Just stir it around and you'll find it'll be perfect. It won't go off. Charcoal powder doesn't go off. I've never had any go off. Now, the thing with that is you can rub your teeth, clean them, and wash your mouth out.
So with your brush or with your
Yeah, with your brush, mate. Yeah. With your brush. And it really does clean your teeth. When I take a full, a teaspoon and I put it into a glass of water, the last mouthful, I make sure I rinse it in my mouth and leave it in my mouth probably for about 5 minutes.
The activated charcoal?
Yeah, activated charcoal. And I let it go through my teeth. And what it does, it takes away all the bacteria. It takes away everything that shouldn't be there. That's the job of the activated charcoal. That's what it does. Like poison, it soaks up the poison and dumps it out of the body. It doesn't release it anywhere else through the body. It only takes in what it can, and when you're ready to go to the toilet after it goes through your digestive system, it releases it and gets rid of it. That's its purpose, and it works 100%. It also removes metal. Nanotechnology. It helps remove. No one is putting any emphasis on it because no one really looks at it. They don't see it as a product that could actually be beneficial. It cleanses the blood of all metals, toxins, gets rid of it. That's why it's one of the most brilliant products on the planet. And it was the, what do they call them? I'll think of it in a second. Starts with Z. Zulus.
Oh.
The Zulus were the first people to actually invent it. Right? Somebody actually tried to eat it, and what it was funny, And somebody realised that when they washed their mouth out, their teeth was feeling good. So they started using it. They chew it, and it would clean their teeth, get rid of all the meat particles between the teeth and everything.
Wow. I mean, like the Australian Aborigines would have figured it out as well, right?
Yeah, from burnt trees.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. Wow. The other one is
So
did you say something about cleaning your teeth with water and salt? Is that a thing too?
yeah, another thing, absolutely, yes, yes. And one of the good things about salt, if you get the right salt, got to be Celtic sea salt, unfiltered and all that type of stuff. All the chemicals are there, every single chemical, no chemicals removed, so it's very natural. That salt, if you have a sore throat, it will help you 100%. It will help your congestion. If you drink it, it will give you energy and restart your batteries. If you rinse it through your mouth and gargle it, it washes away, again, like the charcoal, it washes away the bacteria. It washes away, there's a name for it, and I can't remember what they called it, that your teeth actually get.
Oh,
They start,
yeah. The word is no.
oh, yeah,
Yeah,
it's
there's a
gone.
word for it.
It does
I'm learning, Kuntarkis, that it's important to have the right small amount of this good salt every day. Like, it's good to have a balance that's pretty regular, isn't it? I haven't
yes.
found that yet, but I'm getting
Yep.
there, I think. Yeah.
What you could do is to increase your salt intake, which is you don't overdo it. That's the worst thing you do.
Probably.
But what you can do is, say you decide to make some tempeh. You're going to fry some tempeh up. When you finish it, and you maybe put it on a piece of nice bread that you like, put a bit of tomato sauce under it, then put the tempeh on top, even make a double sandwich. It's okay, 2 pieces of bread. Sprinkle the salt, the sea salt, on top of your tempeh. And what you'll find is that will give you the salt that your body requires. You never go overboard with salt, I can tell you that. But as I said to you, if you want to restart your batteries and clean your body too, not just with activated charcoal, sea salt is a perfect opportunity. All you do is put, say, half a teaspoon into a litre of water, shake it all up, put it in the fridge, let it get nice and cold. Then if you're on the treadmill or you drink it through the day, it's brilliant. Anything from the last 30 to 50 years is a nightmare when it comes to medication. The medications have been played with by basically all the pharmaceutical companies to some degree. If we go back to about 1901 or 1911, somewhere between that period with the Rockefeller, I think it was Henry Rockefeller, he was the first one that created a pharmacy. And he used all natural stuff. And I know I've mentioned this before, but it'll follow through a trail. And that's how he started to make his money, big time, because no one ever did it. And eventually he set them up all over the country, and it went around the world. And then his sons took over, and that's the way it went. And suddenly, someone, a scientist, discovered that they can formulate and grow chemicals from these so-called things that they use. It's supposed to be natural. And it becomes a drug. Like, to me, that's a drug. It's a real drug because it's a chemical. It's not a real herb or anything like that. And they created that, and they started doing that throughout all their drugs. Well, that started to cause other problems. So they experimented more and more and more and more and tested all these different drugs out on different people all the time. They do it today, Michael. Even today, you go to a doctor and they say, "What's your problem?" And yeah, okay, I'll give you the antibiotics. They don't realize that the antibiotics are loaded with bad stuff. They give you other ones. They don't realize that they're loaded. Doctors all over the world, there are many that have woken up, but doctors all over the world are more ignorant than some of us as laymen. Some are more fearful because they've been warned. that they'll lose their practice and all the other things that go with it. One of the things we have to be careful of is if everything is laced, then we have a real issue. But there's one answer, and it's the most enlightening answer ever. It's to take personal responsibility for your health, because you will never, in this present time, ever become healthy through any form of drug medication. And I think that's going to change over the next 4 years if Trump, once he goes through his inauguration, I think that's how you pronounce it.
Oh, now you made me say it wrong. Inauguration, I think. I think it's inauguration.
Yeah, once he goes through that, and his whole team is set up, which is pretty well set up now, but he's got to go through that. He's going to change the world, mate. He's going to change everything. He'll change Australia. He'll force the Prime Minister to grow up, take off his bloody nappy and start to grow some balls or something. Because the way they're listening to the World Health Organization and the World Economic Forum is just ludicrous. When he was in power, mate, he broke away from the World Health Organization instantly. Any one of those ones. Same with the UN. Same with the WEF. He broke away.
Most of us don't know what he knows, do we? No. You know a lot, and he knows that kind of similar stuff. And other people are like, what's going on? How does Trump... But he knows a lot of what's underground going on, doesn't he?
Oh, he does. Sometimes he plays the fool, you know that? And people use that to mock him, you know? And I've seen it and heard it many, many times throughout his career. And what's really more interesting is he's got an IQ of at least 160 or 169.
Wow.
IQ. That's no joke. That is true. He is actually quite an intelligent man and a very, how would you say, a reasonable man in wanting to fix problems. Yes, of course he does. He's got a business. He's rich. He's a billionaire. So he's going to look after his business too. But he'll also look after the people. And he did so much in that 4 years that he was in Parliament. He did so much. And yet people, they just let it go by. And they believe the crap that a government like Biden's government, who are so corrupt, unbelievably corrupt. I mean, he just turned around and pardoned his son, Henry, for the filthy things that he did and the corruption that he did and the pain that he caused others. He literally pardoned him. So before he becomes no president, he's no longer a president. So he pardoned him. And I'm just waiting to what Trump's going to do when he goes into full power. It's going to be probably surprising. Yeah?
Wow.
But you know, he's already got it all in state about rebuilding all the walls in Texas to stop the Mexicans from coming over. He's already created an agreement with the Mexican government to deport all the criminals back into Mexico. So he's already onto it, all of it. Like Robert Kennedy, he's going to sack every single person in the FDA. All of them, the lot. Because he's realised he can't trust any of them. And he's putting all new staff in to run basically the health organisation. So, yeah, a lot's changing.
So you were saying even the health would change in 4 years from now in Australia because of him.
Yeah.
So what do you see? What kind of change? Because apparently you said that practically every, sorry to quote you, but every white tablet you see, the white is just basically the stuff that floats up from a vat of bleach.
Yeah, bleach.
Oh, man.
Bleach. And if you got a bit of grey in it with a bit of black spots, well, that's the white, that's the grey stuff that comes off the top of sewage plants that they actually dry out and put it into tablets. And they've been doing that for a few years, mate. quite a few years. I mean, that's not going to be good for you, is it?
No, it's funny. It's one of the things I think even back since Rockefeller, I guess, isn't it, that they just basically realized they could put a lot of junk into these tablets just to size them up.
Yep.
And then the
Yep.
other terrible thing, which is a beautiful thing, is that placebo is such a factor. If people think something's going to work for them, then regardless of how bad it is, it might likely work for them just because they believe.
But that's proving that we are self-healers.
Yes. Yes.
But what creates all this? I haven't said this in this manner, but I gave it some thought because of what the Nipulans had been teaching me, and this other one showed me the backlash of humanity way back 41 million years, and it shows the karmic debt following from every single lifetime through every single individual. No matter who they are, alien, human, whatever, it's all the same thing. It shows how karma and reincarnation govern and persist in forcing our emotions constantly up to the surface in every lifetime. And all then we get to pass on emotions from our parents through their genetics. And we are living it constantly, and most people have absolutely no awareness of it. I came across a little file the other day, and I read it. And what it was, somebody deleted my first introduction, which was 5 pages long, first book, Entrapment. And I found it. And I was so happy because I want to put that introduction into my second book, Volume 2, called Entanglement, The Long Journey Home. Because at the moment, I use the same introduction. I want to take that one out and put this new one in. And it really hits the point about how we live constantly in every moment of every breath on our emotions from the past, from the past, from the past, from the past. It just goes on and on and on. And that's why we are so unbalanced as a living being. That's why we're not growing, how would you say, to where we should be consciously. We're just not doing it. We just keep reliving it.
I think you're personally actually capable of saying even what percentage of actual people from this life to the next are making what percentage of actual growth away from their karma, and it's not much, is it?
No, it's not, mate. The Nipulans helped me out on that one very much. I was talking to this one. I keep forgetting the entity's name. It starts with A, like Avve or something like that. I can't remember. I've got it written down in one of my... I did mention it to you in one of the episodes we did, but I just can't think of it. And that entity, I can't say male, female, because they don't have that gender identity. But I shouldn't even say he, but that being explained to me so deeply about evolution and how we are caught like in a vacuum of negativity from the past to the present, allowing the past to continue into the future and create our future constantly. And that made me really realize what I felt within myself is absolutely 100% accurate. And that's what we have to change. We have to change our emotions in our present physical life by looking at it, by understanding it, and by letting it go and see it simply as the past, a memory, neither negative or positive, which can be drawn on to learn from, neither negative or positive. That's what we have to do so we can pass on better genetics to our future children. And that's where conscious evolution begins in a big way. Not before.
And and doing this involves finding your passion, your heart, your the things that make you feel good as you go in those directions. You feel a sense of flow, maybe synchronicity. Things can move forward as you let your heart lead you, right? And that the emotions can trickle away. But sometimes it's the opposite, isn't it? Like for me yesterday, my gosh, I had to really face myself and even give me like countdowns of what would I do if I had 3 seconds or 3 minutes just to face this fear. And sometimes you just have to face it head on, don't you? And just be like, you are not real.
Yes. Sometimes you have to face it head on. Absolutely. And the most interesting factor is, Michael, if you face it head on, you will find reality. But also, what you said before and what we talked about, and finding your heart or feeling your heart, that episode, it's really good. Same with knowledge and truth. If you discover your heart, you will discover the means to let go of your emotions, because you'll no longer live in them. You'll see them simply as past experiences, neither negative or positive. The heart will always lead you into your new evolution. The emotions will only lead you into your future, which contains your past constantly.
Yeah, it's just a fractal of the past. It's just showing up in the future. It's like it's new stuff, but there's nothing. It's just a it's an equation of the past, isn't it? It's a sum of the past.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yes. That's why the heart is so important. It really is. Can you imagine if we could put together a seminar on finding your heart?
Finding your heart. Yeah.
Finding your heart. I would do it spontaneously.
Yeah.
And I probably would never stop talking, because I know how powerful the heart is. And to express it, it's like it would just flow.
Yeah.
It's so important.
I appreciate, Kuntarkis, your existence in my existence, and how I have learnt to be able to understand this and face many things, and also to have preferences in my life that have led me in different directions. I kind of shy away from certain things because of you. It's not being shy, it's having preferences that I can't ever blame you for the things I've missed out on, because I feel when I ever really think about it, the thing I'm grateful most in my entire life is always coming across you and the amazing knowledge and existence that you have so kindly shared with me, and my gratitude I just can't express.
I appreciate that, mate. That's very nice of you. And it's the same with me. I've known people who, I won't say have held me back, but have created circumstances that pulled me down. And that goes on with people all over the world. The thing is, I would never want to go back and change that, because it has taught me. And now, because I found my heart and I found the existence of infinite knowledge, to me, that was my trail. And that's what's so important.
Like that was your purpose, and you feel that you fulfilled your purpose to some degree? Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. And what led me was all that.
Yeah.
All the negativity led me into being positive. And I mean, I don't think there's one person on this earth, and I'm not going to say besides me, I don't mean it that way, but there's not one person on this earth that has ever experienced seventh-dimensional travel or a civilization that is seventh-dimensional, and being able to call on them, and then they come to you and they take you back and they guide you until you can do it by yourself, and teach you knowledge that's 41 million years old. They're sharing it, and they share their entire existence with me. So that, what has led me to now in this moment, is just mind-blowing. And I've had so many experiences. Like I was laying on the lounge the other day on my side, because I did a lot of hard work, and I just went into this really deep sleep. But at the same time, I was present. I came out of my body, and I sat sort of half in my body, and I was just looking around the house. Then I walked through the entire house, and I said, here I am, out of my body, and I've made myself physical. I can touch the walls. I can open a door. And yet when I tried that again, it wouldn't work.
Yeah.
That happens.
Yeah.
And it's leading you to the ultimate truth where you'll be able to do it 24/7. And then I had an experience the other night, which was Monday night, where I was doing all this magic. I was showing people in the spirit world all this magic, levitating, flying, leaping over buildings, putting my finger through a little wall or through a pot plant or whatever I was doing. And the people I had there were just mind blown. I had thousands end up with thousands of people again and doing all these little bits of magic. So what it's doing, it's giving me the trail of life to the reality that I believe in so strongly through my passion. If you believe and believe and believe and believe, that trail will lead you to where you want to go. Yes, it may take an entire lifetime. It doesn't matter. Because once I leave here, mate, I'm in the spirit world. I'm not coming back into an actual physical body. But what I will come back with is the spirit and create a physical body. That's what I know I'll do.
I know you'll do that too, because I've known you for so long that this is a reality. This isn't you just saying something else. So many people say, oh yeah, this is my last life, I know it. But for you, I know you're literally manifesting a physical body, and you'll have two, by the way. You'll probably be able to do your human one and also your Nakaran one.
Well, that's a possibility, but I'm not sure about that.
Well, you can take eternity, it doesn't matter, it's just time, isn't it?
Right, just time. I mean, my body will eventually die, but what I'm achieving within my own structure at the moment, before I physically pass away, to me, is just incredible. And it's helping me grow more and more and more. When we can literally walk around the house in that quiet mode and feel the essence of your own energy, feel the essence of the energy that's flowing around you, which is living energy, you know you are evolving because your thoughts are becoming more powerful by the moment. You no longer live in simply a logical level of thinking in your human brain. You're now living in your mind, knowing the logical brain, but living in the mind with living energy. That's called advancement completely.
Wow. And life gets different. Your reality gets a bit different when that happens, doesn't it?
Yep, it does. Yep. I mean, you could still walk down the street in that mode, right? And somebody could see running past you and drive a knife through your chest or shoot you.
No.
Yeah, your body will fall and drop dead. Of course it will. But the knowing will not drop dead. The spirit will not drop dead. The body.
Do you have to? I was thinking, do you have to watch out what people you attract into your conversations when you do get that level of higher frequency? Yes. You do, don't you? I've been there. You really have to.
Yeah, people become really set back, become angry. It literally, you are sparking off their buttons.
Just with your aura, just with your energy, just with your being. Yes.
They end up hating you. I'm not joking. I've seen people that have done that. They can't work out why they hate you or why they dislike you. They don't want to be anywhere near you, and they blame you. And they look to blame you. That's the fascinating point. But if you don't allow it to affect you, then it won't. It will mean nothing. What's more important is how you grow consciously in your life, not how you live to others in their thinking.
Yeah, and you would
Because
brush off, if you came home with an experience of being around other people, you would just somehow brush it off. It's gone.
yes,
It's the past. I'm
yes,
back to what I'm moving forward with.
yes.
Yeah. Don't let it linger in your emotions. And
JC does at the moment, and I've got to keep cleansing him all the time because kids, mate, look, doesn't matter who they are, but kids are like yo-yos. They're up
yo-yo
and down.
sponges.
Yeah, yo-yo sponges. Yeah, yo-yo sponges. Oh, by the way, when I was laying on that bed,
Yeah.
when I was laying on that lounge, and I was very aware that I was literally conscious, spiritually and physically. I was projecting energy to the wall, and suddenly I moved my body slightly in my awareness, and I could feel the sponge. So that sponge was at least 15 feet away from my body. So that's living energy.
You were
That means
feeling a
you're-
push and pull from all that way away.
Yeah. So you're actually starting to really feel and experience that truth, which is really interesting. That's how you grow, Michael. You got to ask yourself, what do you want from life?
What
But,
do you want from
know,
life? Yeah. I want two things: health first and conscious growth, conscious evolution.
Absolutely.
Health
Yeah.
first, conscious evolution.
Yep. When your level of consciousness changes, your health changes because your thoughts change. You see things differently. Honestly, you do. And sometimes it can be a painful road for a little bit, but it's only painful because your emotions are coming out to haunt you, trying to make you realize, what are you doing? What are you doing? What are you doing? And get you all full of anxiety, and full of stress.
Oh yeah.
So you don't grow consciously.
So you can't keep up. But if you keep moving that body and moving forward to the things that you're
Yes.
maybe ticking off, yeah. Oh, I'm learning that. I had a terrible day yesterday, but I'm learning that for sure. And the other thing is the opposite of what you say, not the opposite, but the inverse. If your body is a temple and you treat your temple so well with, say, exercise and the ability to have good oxygen in you and all the rest, then your heart is more able, then your mind, then your brain is all more able as well for the inverse of what you said.
Yes.
Oh,
I find now, because I do these breathing exercises, and I have been for many, many months, I do them basically every day.
no, please share. Please share.
Well, it's very simple. It's a very simple thing. I can do, say, an hour on the treadmill, right? And I come off and I'm not puffing, and like a lot of people, I've been told that they find it so stressful. And I said, well, that's only because your body is not adapted to it. And when I get off that, I go on the trampoline. And the first thing I do is weights. I have 3 kilo weights in each hand, and I bounce from side to side with the weights for 15 minutes. I don't have any issues breathing, Michael, whatsoever. I've stopped that. Then I do 15 minutes of isometrics with my body, bouncing, some side to side, all that type of stuff. After that, I do another half an hour of dancing to very fast music. From left to right, my arms go, side, front, all that type of stuff. And after I finish doing that, I'm not puffing at all. When I get on the platform, the vibrating platform, I do 25 minutes on that. 2 lots of 12 and a half minutes. And I do isometrics again on the first lot, and I do some little isometrics on the second. But when I do the first lot, I then do what is called a breathing exercise. And what it is, your hands are on your side, you're standing on the platform vibrating, and you raise your hands up, or better still, if you're not used to it, do it when you finish the first 12 and a half minutes. And just stand on the vibrating platform and look in the mirror and raise your hands as they're straight to the flat part of your legs on the side. Raise them straight up with your palms facing the walls to the top of your head. Then, as you bring them down, you blow your air out. As you raise them, you bring your air in to the top. Then, you bring them down and you blow your air out. And you do that for 2 minutes. And what you're doing is, you're tightening up all your muscles in your chest and your stomach. And your breath intake is expanding your lungs, which makes your lungs more healthier to take more air in, which gives you more oxygen in your bloodstream, which is very important, which gets distributed to your entire system. So just those type of things. And when I do Qi, it's the same thing. I do hard style, light style. And I breathe. I go. I breathe at the same time. I take a deep breath in, raise my chest, then I push it out. And it's the same principle. So it's something that you have to learn. It's a learning curve.
I think and you do that how many nights a week generally?
Well, pretty well every night.
Wow,
but
and it really helps going to bed, doesn't it?
Yeah. I don't bounce every night. I bounce probably 3 times a week, and do the treadmill 3 or 4 times a week. Right? Because the exercise on the bouncer 3 times a week is pretty intense. You can really feel it because you're using every muscle in your body the way I do it.
When you raise and bring your arms down, your hands facing outwards, etc., do you tense them as you do that as well?
They're always tense. Yes.
Always tense,
yes.
Yeah,
not heavy tense, but still tense. And your body's tense because you're teaching your body to be strong and firm.
This concludes another episode of Kuntarkis. If you'd like to know more about Kuntarkis, find his website, etcconsciousness.com, where you find out plenty of things about him, including his books, and you can also contact him on kuntarkis@gmail.com. That's it for now. Thanks so much for listening. My name is Michael Yon, and stay tuned for more.